Well, a very good day to you YouTubers. I hope you're keeping well. And before I get going on this video, I just want to quickly point out that I have a new lapel microphone right by here. My old lapel mic gave up the ghost quite recently. It was getting very scratchy and sometimes wouldn't work. So I took the opportunity to invest in a DJI wireless mic. This particular version, because there's two, is the 2 transmitter 1 receiver model in its own battery powered charging case. Together with the battery in the charging case and the batteries in the transmitters and receiver, the whole unit can provide up to 15 hours of use. The receiver comes with a hot shoe adapter for attaching to your camera, but as that's already taken up with my Rode stereo mic, I can just attach the receiver when required using some self-adhesive Velcro. I only received this a couple of days ago, and I'm still fiddling about with the levels and so on, so I apologise in advance if there should be any kind of sound issues and so on, distortion, too quiet, too loud and what have you. I'll get there in the end. As I said in the previous video where I tried some vegan food, I'd spent the previous almost 6 weeks repairing the engine on canal boat Gorse, and that after the previous video I was going to finally go off and have a little holiday on my motorbike. And for 3 days it was great, lovely weather, and went through some fabulous little villages and so on. But as is the way of things, after 3 days the weather took an horrendous turn, and day after day of thunderstorms. On one occasion the rain got so heavy and the thunderstorms so close and frequent that I bailed out and went and hid in a shelter nearby. I didn't fancy being in a tent with lightning striking the ground. So I've now come back to Aslan. I've lost the urge to have a holiday now, and I'm going to get back to travelling and filming. Season 10. It's just started chucking it down, so I'm going to shut my front door. Yeah, where's the summer gone? Anyway, as I was saying, I'm now going to get back to travelling and filming. So in the next couple of weeks, because I've still got a couple of loose ends to tie up, but in the next 2 weeks, or end of July latest, I'm going to get back to Marston Junction at the bottom of the Ashby Canal, where I travelled that in season 9. And I'm going to continue on along the Coventry to Hawksby Junction, and then the remainder of the Coventry into Coventry Basin itself and have a look around there, and then back up to Hawksby Junction. And the plan is to go down the Oxford through Rugby and so on to Braunston, and then at the junction there along with Grand Union onto the South Oxford, all the way along there down to Oxford itself. And then in season 11 I plan to get onto the River Thames, go along to Reading, and then along the Kennet and Avon Canal. So season 10, that's going to be a good long season, and season 11, that's going to be a long one as well. So for the remainder of this year and say the first half of next year, is going to be a lot of travelling and a lot of episodes of Travels by Narrowboat. Right, today I'm going to be making a ragu. Bolognese isn't really a correct term. That's more of a westernized kind of name. It's a ragu. I'm going to be using 250 grams of 5% steak mince, some mushrooms, bulb of garlic, an onion, a lot of cherry tomatoes, and some British sugar bell tomatoes, which are extremely sweet. No need to put any sugar in the bolognese or in the ragu, so you got me at it, because the tomatoes are so sweet. The sweetness goes throughout the sauce. It's delicious. As I say, I'm not using a ready-made sauce, so I simply add mixed herbs, and these have thyme, marjoram, parsley, oregano, sage, and basil. Also, like a garnish, it's always nice to have a good old bit of cheese. Do you want cheese on it? This is grana padano, whatever that is. Begin by adding a bit of olive oil into a pan. I like quite a bit of olive oil. Very tasty. And then I'll chop up the onion. And we'll put those in the pan. I haven't lit it yet because it really makes no difference whether the oil is hot or not before you put them in. They all fry in the end. And I'm going to slice up the mushrooms. They can go in as well. And then we'll quickly peel and chop up the garlic. I like a lot of garlic, so I'm going to use a whole bulb. As I say, new microphone, so I'll be keeping an eye on the levels as I go. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, well, it didn't go in the red. Like I say, if it does, you might get some distortions and things. It's very hard. If you use auto level, then the camera will constantly boost the signal to the maximum, and reduce it when things get louder, which means you get a lot of noise, and also the recording is just basically too loud because it's constantly on the verge of clipping. It's all exciting stuff. Right, let's roughly chop all that up. Nothing fancy. And then stick it in the pan. And I'm going to fry all that gently because I don't want to over fry it, but I need time in order to prepare the tomatoes. Easy enough, just cut them in half and then in half again. And as the sauce cooks, these are going to stew down, and then the colour and the sweet, delicious flavour is going to spread throughout the sauce. Quite a few tomatoes, probably more than I usually use. And before I put the tomatoes in, I'm going to very quickly put the mince in and just very lightly seal it. I don't want to fry it. Give that all a good stir up. Yeah, just want it to go just where it starts to go brown, really. Doesn't need much cooking at all. In go the tomatoes then, very carefully. It was getting a bit humid in here, so I've opened the front door again. Let's add in some water. Quite a good bit. I've got a full tub of mixed herbs here, so I'm going to add about half of them. Or so, maybe not. Just give it a good layering of mixed herbs. It's probably about a quarter of a tub actually. A little bit more water. And the final thing I'm going to add, simply because it adds a richness and helps thicken the sauce, are these, what are they called? Kalo organic beef stock cubes. Now they have no artificial flavours, colours or preservatives, no added salt, no MSG, and they're gluten free. It's squidgy. While that's reducing and cooking away, I'm going to check the footage, what I've already filmed, check the sound quality. Before I put the tomatoes in, I'm going to very quickly put the mince in and just very lightly seal it. I don't want to fry it, I don't want to sort of make it crispy or anything, just basically so it goes a light brown. Looking good. Cooking away, reducing down nicely. Just a few more herbs. Don't want to overdo it. Right. While the sauce is cooking away, I'm just going to put some water in a pan and then a little bit of olive oil just to stop it sticking together. Yes, I know that if you cook it a certain way, if you're a pasta master, then you don't need to add olive oil, but I have it on good authority from Italians that whenever their mum used to do pasta, they would put some olive oil in the water. I won't be putting the pasta on yet. Why am I grabbing that? Just put the lid on that and that can sit there ready and waiting. Aye, by the time I finally got round to my holiday after doing Gorse, I mean I'd spent way longer, 3 times longer doing Gorse's engine than I'd imagined, and by then I'd spent a lot longer taking a break on holiday, so to speak, than I'd intended. So by the time I finally got going on my motorcycle road trip and the weather changed, my heart wasn't really in it. It had lost its sparkle. I think we're getting there. Oh, it's very sweet, a natural sweetness, none of this sugar or refined sugar, artificial sweeteners, aspartame, nasty stuff. Let that come to the boil. I would say for one, that's about right. It is mentioned quite often that I make large portions. Thing is, quite often that's my only meal in the day. Apart from an apple and a banana for breakfast, then I'll go the entire day and then make a meal at night. So in the space of 24 hours, that's basically all I'll eat. I've never been a huge one for lunch. If I had breakfast, lunch and dinner, I'd feel quite bloated. We're there. Lovely. As I say, I've had an apple and a banana today. Ooh. Right. take my pasta dish. Ironically, it's a Dolmio pasta dish. Must have been some special offer on years ago. Found 2 of these in a charity shop. But I won't be putting Dolmio sauce in here, I'll be putting my homemade ragu. Lovely spaghetti, none of it sticking together in clumps. Let's dish up some of this ragu. And the final embellishment, some grated Padano, which is very similar to Parmigiano. Et voila. Oh no, it's French, isn't it? Anyway. My favourite time of the week is pasta day. Quite delicious. Nice taste of herbs done to personal taste. Magnifico. I'm going to carry on watching Black Books. It's season 1, episode 1, and Manny has basically just arrived on the scene to save the day. He can do Bernard's accounts, and he can give him a glass of wine, and he can make a ham sandwich, and he's just found out he'll also put a pickle with it, which is why he's absolutely over the moon. Right. I'm going to enjoy this. Apologies if there were any sound issues. When I checked it earlier, it seemed pretty good. Also apologies because this microphone's quite sensitive. Any chewing, lip smacking noises, but you know, such is life. I'm going to finish this, and then in a couple of weeks, end of July latest, I'm going to be back at Marston Junction, and then I'm going to start filming season 10. Alright, so yeah, look after yourselves, and cheers for now.